The US and Ukraine agree a new peace framework to end the war with Russia after talks in Geneva hailed as highly productive. Israel escalates its campaign against Hezbollah, striking the capital Beirut for the first time in months and killing the militant group's chief of staff. And we speak to a survivor of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse as the US awaits the release of thousands of files related to the late sex offender.
The granddaughter of former U.S. President John F. Kennedy has announced she's been diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer. Tatiana Schlossberg wrote in an article published in The New Yorker on Saturday that she's been given less than a year to live. She is a 35-year-old mother of two, and she's also been an outspoken critic of her relative Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s position as U.S. Health Secretary under the Trump administration. Singapore has deported a man to Australia after he was convicted of grabbing Ariana Grande at the Wicked for Good film premiere earlier this month. Johnson Wen was sentenced to 9 days in jail on public nuisance charges after jumping a barrier and putting his arm around the actor on the opening night of the film. Wen, aged 26, has posted videos of himself disrupting concerts by Katy Perry and The Weeknd and invading the pitch at various sporting events. For the media.
We'll meet the 3-year-old boy who's amazing doctors after receiving a world-first gene therapy treatment in the UK for a rare and devastating condition.
We're so happy, so pleased with his progress. His results are amazing. I've been waiting 20 years for this to see a boy like Ollie doing as well as he has, and it's just so exciting.
Now, the Pacific nation of Palau looks like paradise on earth with its stunning scenery, but the pristine environment masks a growing anxiety. As one of only 12 countries that have diplomatic ties with Taiwan instead of China, Palau is finding itself caught in a geopolitical contest that could shape the future of the region. Sean Yuan of the BBC's Global China Unit has more.
Palau, a country in the Western Pacific, boasts a breathtaking landscape. But this tiny group of islands is now a hotspot for tensions between China, Taiwan, and the US. Palau has geographical proximity to China, but at the same time, formally recognized Taiwan as a sovereign state. Palau enjoys extensive aid from the US in exchange for Washington's exclusive military access. All of this means this nation has now become a front line for a battle for influence among hostile superpowers. China insists that Taiwan is a breakaway province that cannot conduct its own foreign relations. But Palauan officials say Beijing has massively cut tourism to pressure Palau to sever ties with Taiwan. But this has turned out to be ineffective.
If China wants to have a relationship with Palau, by all means you can, but you cannot tell us that we cannot have a relationship with Taiwan.
The US claims China is readying its armed forces to be capable of invading Taiwan, and Washington has been expanding its own military footprint in Palau. This is Malacca Harbor, Palau's main port, where diving boats and cargo ships dock. It is also a site which Washington plans to upgrade to enable access for larger military vessels, and is part of an escalation of US military presence here. In 2017, the US announced its plan to build a long-range radar system in Palau, which could be critical for monitoring China's military activities in the region. China has also been trying to gain a foothold. Documents reviewed by the BBC in Palau show that since 2019, Chinese businesses have leased land close to the radar. Washington claims Beijing is deliberately acquiring the land near its military sites. China's foreign ministry did not respond to requests for comment.
No matter what we do, Palau is going to be the center of any kind of activity because of our location.
Behind this tug of war are ordinary Palauans caught in the middle. With the US military expansion and the allegations surrounding Chinese investment, Palauans worry that they might be pulled into a conflict that they never asked for. Shuang Yuan, BBC News.